Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Michael Curtis Bone, on this evening edition of Fire for Liberty on the 11th of August 2017. Uniting and proclaiming and doing many types of unique, artistical, peaceful forms of not only advanced consciousness of unity, but ultimately more, of course, not only recognizable, but more unified understanding of really, truly, our connectivity with not only one another, but perhaps, or not only perhaps, but with the limitlessness expansion of what we can do with our minds, with our, for example, with our dreams, with our goals, with our connections, connectability. The not only Phoenix phenomenon and Ravenclaw mystical natures not only very positive or have positive turnouts, but also the awareness of the types of unities that are brought together from not only necessarily things that are definitely, without a doubt, productive and healing and able to, for example, provide, of course, advanced, for example, solutions, advanced healing solutions or advanced scenarios in terms of specifically, well, I guess broadly, grandly that ultimately, and even it's even just broken down to the unity aspects, which of course there's still a lot more work to do, but it's the type of, for example, this even without, for example, big words and big terms, it's most definitely possible, capable, able, and also very practical to be able to not only connect on this advanced spectrum of unity, but to be able to ultimately do this one unique thing. And I'm gonna, even though action is a major part of it, action, writing, reading, listening, learning, studying, and of course, just the major journey in general. One major part is that, of course, it's important that unity, of course, is very strong and connected, and that is something that, of course, which is what I was getting to, which is a key point, or not necessarily getting to, but of course, it's the term breakthrough, for example. The type of for example, actually, no longer for just this is going to be a completely, of course, unique episode because of course, the one of the definitions or divisible terms, or I guess forms of an expression given was or is connection times connectability, or just connection, or just unity. It's which ultimately is, for example, that equation. It's the fact that, for example, not examples, but it's so true, and of course, this is not at all bragging about necessarily about memories, and it's actually, well, maybe just for me, it's more, of course, it's ultimately, yes, like a sign of good character to be humble, and I don't know, I guess I've just I've always been that way. But at the same time, and of course, I think this is probably almost like it. Probably every episode. I just started these broadcasts. Wow, So, this is August. Well, just thinking about it. I've been doing this since January. Well, this is when I started this broadcasting. Anyway, yeah, so, 8, 9, or 8. So, breakthrough. Going back to breakthrough. Breakthrough is perhaps, which is one of the just basic things about ascended, or for example, ascended consciousness, or just understanding consciousness is, for example, just one of our, for example, natural, what's the word? Natural natures? Is that the word? Natural natures just to be, for example, connected to one another, or to, but at the same time, one word I used previously was Feist. In the title of one of my other broadcasts. Not that, of course, that I'm still, of course, able to lead. And so what this is, of course, is not only just which is a very, 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 very good, very strong, very key, and very ultimately powerful sort of bond. And it's not about, for example, self. Well, and I mean in terms of, well, let's put it this way, because there are many things to be proud of. There are many things to recognize the journey, and there are many things to recognize the steps. And of course, it's an amazing sort of recognition of clarity to not only just be aware and to represent that unlimited potential, but to not only just in remembrance, which is one of the very important key parts of what this could be called the story, a story, or this epic. But once again, of course, I'm very, I want to say the word, I guess, is skilled at trailblazing, or just at, I guess, sticking to my instincts, or just, continuing on. Well, I say, I mean, there's, of course, the understanding and the clarity in which, well, I say, of course, understanding the clarity in which, but there's something that, of course, is what keeps is a type of ability, and that's not just for example, I mean, well, of course, the U word isn't even in my vocabulary, or the Q word, the Q word. Honestly, well, I almost don't even remember the last time I used the Q word, but I don't use the Q word in a, in it's a, of course, one of the terms I use is evanescence, but it's a sort of, perseverance, resiliency. So, breakthrough. Breakthrough. So yes, of course, it just indeed is like flying, and of course I say, I want to do it more. So once again, well, I always do, continuing to, well, do what I do. I mean, it's ultimately true. Oh, wow, I wrote this ages ago, and I still kind of remember it. We haven't done what we've done before. Or, like, we haven't, let me rephrase, this now moment is something of a first for all of us, but of course we still remember the skills and have the memories, but this now moment is a first. So this is not only a kind of rekindling, which is never, the embers have never rekindled. It's of course it's a rekindling of one, the breakthrough, a rekindling of two. Just to go off, I guess, on a tangent a little bit, but just not really going off on a tangent. You kind of know, of course, like at a deep end, or for example, at a young age, that's just like, and I was, well, I'm saying this humbly, and of course this is my broadcast, so of course I can say whatever I want. Well, within reason. Well, I'm gonna present this broadcast. What I mean is, when it's like this, that's kind of all I say, which is kind of interesting. But this, it's like this. Person really has something, or like there's something in this guy, or there's quite a lot of potential, and of course there would always be, or I guess, I say previously, but for example, at a younger age, not that age matters, because of course the our hearts, of course, and our souls are timeless. There's a super special rekindling of that, and this is as in terms of course, the natural, I guess, state of the heart, well, like state. There's of course always love and connection, but peaceability, and of course responsibility for peaceability, and of course that responsibility is held strong, and of course that unity is ultimately. Something that doesn't shake. And so this is for, and I, I said this before, and it's interesting, and I, I still hold true to it. I mean, even though, it sounds impossible, but, there's nothing that's impossible. Quote, the difficult I'll do right now, the impossible will take a little while. The impossible for, remembering, or, for example, what was that? Well, of course it's a grand analogy, but that phrase, will, I mean, it's kind of a, what's the word? Obvious, I guess, kind of, or just kind of sort of like a common sense thing, but of course, every if I were to win the lottery, of course, everyone I met along the road, and or what I mean to say is not that it's about the lottery, but specifically, will I remember all the people that I met as I continue to go through, or as I continue to go where I need to go. For example, as I continue on, which is something that's not necessarily a destination, but also emotion, which is a breakthrough, a phrase breakthrough, and I really. I'm liking that term right now, breakthrough and peaceability, but mostly breakthrough, to really not only just not only just because I've so done this before, but actually no buts. I've done things, I mean, this is telling the truth, I've done things that saved people's lives, for example, that could, but that's just human nature at the same time. I mean, not buts, but it's human nature just trying to go, and that's what I've gotten to that habit. I guess habit's a good word, but it's a form of trailblazing. What's a breakthrough trailblazer? A sentient clarity of just ability of will to push forward and to, I mean, of course, this story has been told in probably a million billion different ways. Who would have knew? What's the word? 1, 7, 9, 12, 18, 30, 90, 100, 60,000 days, months, or years, and I don't mean to be too specific. Also, per se, this is for sake of example, but it's also true. We kind of wouldn't really know what. I mean, we do know. There's it's been said before. So, ultimately, I'm also crystallizing the crystallization of what, for example, it means to be one on this crystal planet, or what it means to be one on the crystal planet, and what it means to be one on this crystal planet. and what it means to be one apart in this crystalline divinity. Like, for example, that's what we see, or that's what's seen. It's crystal creation and crystalline bodies. Well, this is, of course. I mean, of course, there's still a long way to go, and you know, good old abbreviation NGU. This is your host, Christopher Malcolm Curtis Bowen. Oh, because I'll always NGU. Well, once again, you know, just getting started. I mean, seriously, dude, there's still so much more to do. But, so this is your host, Christopher Malcolm Curtis Bowen, this evening edition of Fire of Liberty, Peaceability, Breakthrough through to breakthrough through to breakthroughs, to breakthrough through to breakthroughs. As in, you know, no matter, like, trailblazability, I not only want to encourage trailblazability, but also unity and peaceability. And of course, it's amazing, but not amazing. I mean, I'm adding words to it. So it's not only amazing, and it's not only extraordinary, but it's also... So, because, you know, I just kind of... Well, not necessarily that's about me, but I just would go off on... I would have... They're not really tangents, but I would be really clear. Okay, here's what I used to do. Actually, about, I want to say it was last year around this time, because around this time, anyway, the position didn't matter. Anyway, I'm trying to rephrase this very, very nice. I'm being honestly kind of blunt when I speak, and of course, you know, I'm certain no feelings will be hurt, because I would ultimately, you know, it's amazing. I do a lot of, for example, telling a lot of ideas, meaning motivational. I was such a, I definitely am, and definitely still am, an incredible, like, motivational. Wow, that's so true. Well, this is definitely one form of a motivational, I guess, speech or sentence or saying or thought form per se. But of course there's this form of unique clarity, and this is of course for unity, for clarification, of course, for, you know, there's no per se, like there's no sounds cliche, but it's really not, because it's really been done. There's no it's so cliche, but there's no mountain that can't be climbed, because Wow. And I explained this like very easily and well. There's no, well, whoa, it's doing my job. So you know what? I'm gonna continue doing my job. It's to be motivational, ultimately, and well, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that I'm like incredibly focused. Not just like incredibly focused, but it's I'm incredibly focused. So of course continue to be aware of that. Of course, one of the unique things, of course, that makes, for example, what we can do, what we can make, what we are, what we want to become, what we can become now, and also just the aspects of not only what this realization of, for example, the dreams we have in the laws of attraction, that breakthrough, because that's pretty fun. That's pretty cool. It's pretty true, and it's pretty awesome because, and of course, that's what makes me awesome, because it's like that thing that just, ultimately continues to set sparks. So I said rekindling, which is, of course, is very good phrase, very good word, or very good truth, and of course breakthrough, and of course peaceability, connection, that sort of warmth of that just the quote warmth unquote from that Phoenix phenomenon, and of course the magic that does truly exist, of the Riv and Coalesce natures, for example, and of course of course every broad understanding of the magical thought forms of what's within us, and of course the aspects of our not only kinetic natures, for example, but our limitless abilities, because it does somehow, not only somehow, but does definitely cliche, but we do, and that's what one of the things I'm really good at. Well, whoa, that's actually really is my anyway, homebound. So it's the 11th of August, 2017, evening edition of Fire for Liberty. I guess part of this breakthrough has to do something with disregarding time, more or less. This is your host, Christopher Malco, just on this evening edition of Fire for Liberty. Love you all.